Hello again, everybody. Well, today we are in beautiful Chester Frost Park. It's in Hamilton County. If you want to find out where it is, you need to look, but we are checking out the Jackson Chapel Cemetery. One of the interesting things is this is a good old historical cemetery, and the oldest date in the cemetery is 1810. Now, there are also 490 or so Cherokee graves that are underwater because of TVA. It's, I don't know if you can see off in the distance, but you can see that the water is a lot further up than where it used to be. Anyway, let's take a look and see this cemetery, shall we? It is right close to the entrance, easy to get to, and you can see that there are some new ones here. A lot of headstones I see are just the stones, so they're very old. Now, if you want to do a little bit more research online, you can find out a lot more than I was able to find out, but I thought you guys would like to have a little look at this place. You can see that, these are obviously so old that they're virtually indecipherable. But somebody has gone to the trouble to at least try to keep up with the stones that are still here. Although, a volunteer group needs to come out here at some point, maybe throw a little bit of that biological solution to these to really make them pop again. Interesting. Another pendergrass. Pendergrass is a family around here. And a little bit of historical information. The land originally belonged to Chief Richard Taylor. Now, obviously, with things the way they are, it's important to keep up with the history. Wow, look at these older ones. And some of these have fallen over. Some of these older ones you can almost see the inscription on them, but they're just so old. And some of those are even so old that they have literally just crumbled into obscurity. It doesn't help being under trees like these cedar trees either. It really covers up the headstones. Now, before I get too much deeper into this cemetery, I'm going to go over by the road and at least take a look at that section. So I will be with you guys in a moment. Interesting and appropriate. This tree is covered in resurrection fern. Now, I don't know if you guys know what resurrection fern is, and I'll tell you, on a normal day, it's brown and dried out. You really can't see, it looks dead. And literally, within an hour of rain, it will pop and become bright and green again. It's very interesting. Some of these are just Maddie Reno. So the Reno family. You can almost see, I guess, the edge of the cemetery would be where the grass has changed, and then the Park Service takes over for the other stuff. Those are Claytons, Wilsons. This one does look like this is one of those family cemeteries where the families are in their own sections, and like I said, you can still see just rocks. And that's a flag, so I am betting that we've got a veteran here. This looks like an Adams family. And yes, we are kind of close to the airport in Chattanooga. Oh. A lot of Adams. Here's a lot more older stones. Ones that have worn away yet again. It's interesting that some of the headstones were facing out towards the road, and some are facing in. The 6th Tennessee, I guess infantry. It's really hard to read these. And there's 4th Tennessee Cavalry. Yeah, if anybody knows if there's an association that keeps up with this, it's like I say before, it might be a good thing to have a group come in and use some of that D2 biological solution that was 1952. Have the biological solution come in and really neaten up some of these older headstones. Some of them are quite difficult to read. And it's just because this cemetery has a ton of trees. Hubert A. Reno, Tennessee, World War I. Ooh. I'm guessing that somebody's hunting too. Looks like this tree has really come down. I bet that will be a booger to deal with, because there are so many headstones around here. I can't read those. You've got another section in here. This is a beautiful old cemetery. But the headstones definitely need some love so that the headstones can be legible again. It looks like trees have knocked some of the headstones out of their, there's Dent, there's Smith, but it looks like some of the headstones have been knocked down. And as with a lot of the older cemeteries, you have a lot of children, and you can see that lamb. The lamb represents a child. Horn. Huh. Another finger pointing up. And yet again, just a lot of stones here. Makes me wonder, and if anybody knows, please comment in the comments below if you don't mind. Makes me wonder if anybody knows how many unknown cemetery gravestones are here, or how many plots. Rawlings. This one's broken, or somebody has broken it. And there is a flag, a couple of flags in it. I don't know if somebody was just being a punk and threw them in there, or if that's another veteran. I don't see any. Yeah, it's just stones. I don't see any names on the outside. Paulston. Ralston. Hope it's Ralston, not Paulston. The growth just made it look like that. Miller. Oh no. There's another one that's broken off. It's an interesting mix of truly ancient headstones and it says Hall, and it actually hasn't been tremendously long. Well, a group needs to come out here and John C. Rogers did not end up out here, I guess, or if he did, they did not carve his date of death into the headstone. We've got a World War II veteran. There's a lot of veterans in here. And interestingly, and I would say people have probably planted them, there are a ton of cedar trees in this spot. Sneed. Frizzell, Robertson, Penley, Smith. I do like too, while there's not a fence, that they have these interesting corners delineating the corners of the cemetery. Varner. Grant. Nils Dahl. John E. Dahl. And more that are just, looks like just concrete blocks. And then some that are quite beautifully carved. Well, you can't read these either. There's a lot of writing on them, but the growth has really gotten in there. This is that pendergrass spot. You know what? I'm going to walk down here across. I doubt that there will be any headstones, being that they were Cherokee, but at least we'll take a look at where I think, according to the map anyway, that the Cherokees are buried. Well, there's a bunch of stumps, but I would say that the Cherokee are probably buried out in that area. And it makes me wonder if the Cherokee Nation folks know who is buried here. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my quick look at this beautiful cemetery over here in Chester Frost Park. I am off to go on some more journeys. So until then, why don't you go on a journey of your own? We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.